Good morning. So today we are going to start with the first experiment, that is a conductometric titration. So experiment name is estimation of amount of HCl by conductometric titration. So in this, what are the apparatus we are requiring for the experiment? Burette. So this is a burette that is fixed to the burette stand, and this is a conical flask, beaker, measuring jar and a glass rod. And even we are requiring this is a conductivity cell which is connected to the conductometer, and this is a conductometer. So these are the apparatus requiring for the experiment. And what is meant by a general conductometric titration? So that end point where we can detect it by the conductance value. So by noting the conductance value, we are detecting the end point. So that's why we are calling it as a conductometric titration. Solutions requiring for the conductometric titration: sodium hydroxide, hydrochloric acid HCl and oxalic acid, and the indicator using is the phenolphthalein indicator. So sodium hydroxide and HCl, so where the base we are using is a sodium hydroxide and acid, that is a HCl. So that means is a HCl is a strong acid and the sodium hydroxide is a strong base. So there is a titration between a strong acid versus a strong base. So this conductometric titration consists of two steps. So first step is the standardization of a sodium hydroxide. So what are the steps should be followed? So pipette out. So I pipette out 20 ml of a oxalic acid and fill the burette with a sodium hydroxide. So I fill the burette with a sodium hydroxide, and here so indicator I am adding is a phenolphthalein indicator. So pipette out 20 ml of oxalic acid, to that indicator adding is the phenolphthalein indicator. So phenolphthalein indicator, so many indicators are there. Why we have selected a phenolphthalein indicator only means here, so the titration is done between a strong acid and a strong base. So I am doing the titration. So slowly we need to do the titration. So dropwise drop. So here after the addition of a indicator, so there is no color, so colorless. So color change, which is indicating the end point. So colorless should be changed to the color. So this is the color change. So colorless to pink color. So pink color, so is the end point. Now note the burette reading. So burette reading I got is a 20. So note the burette reading. And initial burette reading, so that I started with a 0 and a final burette reading I got is a 20. So again the same step should be followed. So again I am starting with a 20 ml. I am getting some value. So the step should be followed for a concurrent values. So V2 is the burette reading. So for 20, so burette reading is the V2 value. Step is a measurement of the conductance or a conductivity. So before starting the step, we need to switch on the instrument. So that is a, so this is a conductometer. So first we need to adjust the meter. So check button and a display should be a 1.00. So 1.00 we need to adjust the value. And next is the cell constant, and cell constant again adjust the value 1.00. Now connect the, so this is a conductivity cell, so connect the conductivity cell to the conductometer and dip this conductivity cell in the solution. So here in the beaker I have taken is a 20 ml of a HCl. So in a HCl, by dipping the conductivity cell we need to measure the conductance values, and in a sodium hydroxide is taken in the burette. So burette is filled with the sodium hydroxide. So before again adjust the conductance and dip the conductance point and dip the conductivity cell in the solution, HCl solution. So note the conductance value. So here showing the conductance value, that is a 30. So conductance value is a 30. So before addition of a sodium hydroxide, which is showing a conductance values, that is a 30, and we need to add a 1 ml of a sodium hydroxide to the HCl and stir the solution. Again measure the conductance value, bring a value of a 28 conductance value. Again add the 1 ml of a sodium hydroxide. So 1 ml, so 1 ml to 2 ml, again we need to add a sodium hydroxide and stir the solution, and again note the conductance value. Repeat the procedure for nearly 20 values. So after each addition we need to take a conductance value, then after we need to plot a graph. In the conductance values is volume of sodium hydroxide, on y-axis conductance value should be taken, where we will get a shape. So in this way we will get a graph. So here conductance and here volume of sodium hydroxide. So by taking the conductance values we will get a initial, the conductance values decreases, and again there is a sudden increase in the conductance values. By taking these conductance values we are measuring the by the intersection point, so that should be drawn down, so which is giving the volume of sodium hydroxide. So these are the values I got. So these are the conductance values. So by addition of a 1 ml. So before is a 0 ml, so which is showing a higher value, and slowly it is decreasing. So decreasing up to 18, that is a conductance, and again there is a sudden increase in the conductance value. So this value should be taken by plotting the graph. Coming to the calculation part. So first step we are done with a first step, that is the standardization of a sodium hydroxide. So in the standardization of a sodium hydroxide, where we need to find out the normality of a sodium hydroxide. So by using the formula, so N2 equal to N1V1 by V2. And what is N1 and a V1 and a V2? So N1 is the normality of the oxalic acid, and a V1 is the volume of oxalic acid, and a N2 that we have to find out. So that is nothing but a normality of a sodium hydroxide, and a V2 is equal to, that is a volume of sodium hydroxide. So during the titration, this volume of a sodium hydroxide that is got is a 22 I got. So 22, so just substitute a 22, so 0.1 into 20 divided by burette reading, so that is nothing but a 22. So So after doing the calculation, the value got is a 0.0109 is the normality of a sodium hydroxide. So by substituting the burette reading, we are getting a normality of a sodium hydroxide, that is a 0.09. So this is the formula we are using. So N2 equal to N1V1 by V2. And okay. So second step, estimation of a amount of HCl by measurement of the conductance values. So first here is a normality. So the formula we are using is a normality of a HCl. So that is a N3. So equal to N2V2 divided by V3. So where N2, so N2 the normality of a sodium hydroxide, which is calculated from the first step. So that is got is a 0.09. So that is the normality of a sodium hydroxide, and V2, so that is a volume of a sodium hydroxide. So after plotting the graph, so we are getting the value. So that is a V2 value, and N3 equal to normality of a HCl, that should be calculated, and V3 equal to volume of HCl, that is a, in a beaker we are taking a 20 ml of a HCl, and so by substituting the value, so N3 equal to N2V2 divided by V3. So that is after calculating we are getting some values. So here, so N2 that should be taking the value from the graph. So how we are taking from the graph? So the intersection of two points, so the line that is drawn towards the x-axis, so it is giving some ml, so that is nothing but a value, that is a volume of sodium hydroxide. So this is the value is taken, the point of intersection of two lines, that value should be taken during the calculation. So that is giving the volume of sodium hydroxide from the graph. So after doing the calculation we are getting some value. So now what is our experiment where we need to find out the amount of HCl in a given solution. So how we need to calculate a amount of HCl in a given solution? By using the formula, that is a N3 into 36.5. So here, so 36.5, that is a weight of the HCl, so molecular weight of our HCl, so that is so N3 into molecular weight of a HCl. So N3, that is for a HCl, which is a molecular weight of HCl is a 36.5. So substituting the N3 value, we are getting some value. So that is giving a amount of HCl in a given solution. As I said, by taking the conductance value, so we are taking a nearly 20 values. That 20 values, conductance values, should be taken while plotting a graph. So initial before the addition of a sodium hydroxide to the HCl, which is showing a higher or a maximum conductance values, that is nearly a 33 conductance value. So as we are adding a 11 ml of a sodium hydroxide, for each addition there is a measurement of a conductance values. So there is a gradual decrease in the conductance values. Again there is a sudden increase or a gradual increase in the conductance value. So here, why there is a sudden decrease and a gradual increase in the conductance values means here, so before the addition of a sodium hydroxide, so in the solution, so where HCl, so due to the mobility, so which is showing a high conductance values. So why it is showing a high conductance values? So in the HCl, due to the presence of a highly mobile H plus ions. So due to the presence of a H plus maximum number of a free mobile H plus ions, which is showing a conductance value. Slowly there is a decrease in the conductance values, and again there is a increase means, so this is a point. So that means here, so during the addition of a sodium hydroxide to the HCl, so there is a combination of a H plus ions which are present in a HCl, that is combining with the OH minus ion that is present in a sodium hydroxide, which is making a
ionized free water molecule. So if you will see the reaction, so reaction, so HCl, so that is taking in a beaker which is reacting with a sodium hydroxide. So when it is added, so sodium hydroxide is added to the HCl, which is combining with a OH, and the HCl from the HCl chlorine is combining with a, so that means here it is forming a salt, that is a NaCl, and a free water molecule, ionized water molecule is forming. So this is a reaction during the titration. So HCl reacting with the sodium hydroxide, and so where it is giving a salt and a water molecule.